The Mac. It's the oldest freshwater sailing race in the world, dating back to 1898. Sailed across 333 miles of open water. Originally a gentleman's bet between 5 boat owners, it's evolved to a world-class sporting event where often Mother Nature proves to be the most formidable opponent. The 110th running took place on July 21st, 2018, where 298 boats would start the race. Fewer would finish. One sailor would be lost overboard. The story takes place aboard Il Mostro, the Monster, a boat that previously sailed and conquered the oceans while flying the Puma flag. Il Mostro was purchased by the Thornton family in 2011 and brought to the Great Lakes to challenge the records there. And in the fall of 2017, Il Mostro set the non-race record for the fastest trip from Chicago to Mackinac by any sailboat, 17 hours, 59 minutes, and 49 seconds, shattering the previous mark held by Steve Fawcett by over 6 hours. On its final Great Lakes race, 3 generations of Thorntons, seasoned crew, and a team of international pro sailors made one final bid to win the Mac overall. This historic campaign was led by this man, Peter Thornton. Here's Peter sharing what it means to sail with 3 generations aboard.
Well, it's everything, really. You know, we've done just about everything except win the overall.
Here's Peter's grandson, Jack, talking about the legacy of sailing on the crew with his grandfather.
Honestly, having the opportunity to sail with them, as well as my cousins and the rest of the crew, is amazing. We all race because we love the competition and thrill that comes with gliding through the water on that beast of a boat, Il Mostro. But to be honest, I think we all do it because of how much we love my grandpa. Being able to spend actual time with him, no cell phones or distractions or anything, as well as do something with him that he's been participating in his whole life, is what it's all about to me.
So I think the objective here is to outline the weather forecast. From what we've seen this morning, we've got like 4 main decision points, and we can add or subtract based on any other comments. And that'll define the variable.
Chris Thornton, the lucky guy that gets to sail with his father and his son. I get to start the boat race, which is pretty cool. So Matt Wackowitz, professional sailor, has been racing with us for years. Does a great job with the navigation. He works with a third-party weather forecasting system that we've been using for years. They do a great job.
He's going to shift to the right at some point in the first 8 to 10 hours.
We obviously have a lot of Americans, but we also have Australians, Kiwis, Irish Canadians, and an amazing group of people that come together every year for these 1 or 2 races that we have on the Great Lakes.
You definitely have to have a solid crew. Il Mostro requires a good kind of a combination of some regular guys, but you also need to have the pros on board. That boat is all business, and you need a crew that is all business. We've had guys like Damian Foxall and Justin Slattery, Stuart McLaughlin, Matt Wackowitz. These guys have been sailing with us. They're pros. They sail all over the world, but they do keep coming back to Chicago because they know it's a great race. They know the boat is in great shape.
Our crew is a total of 14 people. 6 of these people I've been sailing from the very beginning. Gary Marino, Rock Roney, John Stanley, Ben Biddick, and Jack Jennings.
Around about 7 hours past the start of the race, around about 8 to 10 p.m., we're expecting a forecast shift to the northeast. With that shift, we'll trigger a decision point about when to tack on to starboard and take advantage of that shift for the first couple of hours.
It's great, the windier the better, and the rougher the better. And then we'll either be starting with the J2 if we're underneath 20 knots of wind, and J4 if we're over 20 knots of wind, something like that. We'll talk about that more precisely. Just with regards to management of the boat, Justin, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I guess predominantly for the first 18 hours we're bouncing most probably between J4 and J2. If you're not comfortable or you haven't gone forward in these conditions, I think we'll have enough people between Ben, Jack, Greg, Zane and Stu to get forward to drop the jib and pull it over the railing.
It's get up and get off the top. Over you, Greg.
Why does this year's MAC race matter to you?
I think in two regards. One, that my grandchildren are going to be on board. And the other is the quest for the overall.
It's never been about, trying to win the race, from a handicap standpoint. If that was the objective, I don't think we'd be out there with the Il Mostro. I think if you asked both my dad and I don't think either one of us could tell you how many Macs we've done, but it's got to be something in the 30-year range, something like that.
And we're very fortunate because we have some very good competition going up against us. The Askew family with Wizard, the DeVosses with WinQuest, and the three of us will be battling it out for the entire race. The Volvo lights up in high winds, which means you hope for a storm. It is breathtaking what happens to this boat in 35 knots of grace.
How we doing? Good.
Pre-start. The pre-start is critical. It's when the team maneuvers for tactical position on the line to start the race while the minutes count down. It's chaos on the water. Boats are everywhere as they maneuver for the gun.
Gary, I'll need alcohol when you can.
'45th Mackinac race, sailing since I was 10 years old. I love the dynamics, the three-dimensional chessboard aspect of crew work, tactics and strategy, as well as weather. So it's just like three-dimensional chess. So
A lot of people think sailing is just a pleasure cruise, but it's far from that when you're racing.
We're still in good pressure. We should consolidate back, but at least let's make the gain right now.
Does that mean you want to tack now?
I would like to tack. It's 45, right? And I don't think it's going to get any better, so...
Hey, stand by tack!
Stand by to tack!
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, here we go. Tacking.
Every boat has a game plan and a strategy, but when to execute the tactics to carry out the strategy is never exactly known ahead of time. The conditions are constantly changing.
If we don't think we need the J4, we can take it off the bow. different.
The GPS navigation aboard the boats today is really sophisticated. It allows you to see all the other boats, where they are, how fast they're going, who's completely lost. As the lead dog, we tack, they tack, and so on. Here's Matt, the navigator, explaining what's going on.
We're gaining all the time.
What's that?
We're like 11 miles in front of them now instead of 8. Pretty nice.
Yeah.
These guys are slow as 9.3 knots compared to like us doing 11 by
This is a good time to go in towards that point because it's presenting shift.
I don't know if you noticed, but we gained like 2 miles on the guys. Oh, that's good.
I think Peter, our owner, has done well over 30. That means that every year for 30 years or more, these guys are coming back to do this race. And so this race runs on one of the Great Lakes. And you know, for me as a sort of ocean sailor, it's a real eye-opener to spend 2 days, 2 nights out on a lake and never see one of the edges. These are big lakes. These lakes hold more than, I believe, something like 70-89% of the world's fresh water. So it's like a mini ocean.
I love the water. I love being out on the water, and it doesn't matter whether it's a lake or the ocean. I think it's a peaceful place.
My grandpa is a man that I know many people look up to and respect, including myself, and it's because of this that I feel we're able to see so many of the same faces show up to the race each year. It's a real privilege that our family has someone like him at the head of the table. I couldn't imagine where we'd be without him.
The Il Mostro Brain Trust stayed true to the weather models and followed their instincts. Their race strategy allowed them to sail in the fresher air outside of the Manitou Islands, and a tactic seldom employed. It was a risk that would pay off later. It's really where they took it to Wizard and Winquest. Il Mostro was the first boat to finish the 110th Chicago to Mackinac race. Peter and his crew did it in 28 hours, 11 minutes, and 22 seconds, nearly 2 full hours ahead of the nearest competitors, Winquest and Wizard. An achievement made against lashing headwinds for more than half of the race that took its toll on the fleet, especially the smaller boats, some of which finished 2 days later, if they finished at all. It was a fitting end. It will have been Il Mostro's final Great Lakes race. Peter Thornton donated Il Mostro to the Merchant Marine Academy in the fall of 2018. The monster will return to the open sea.